Up everybody, it's Taylor Pro again, back with another computer update. I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know at the beginning, if you guys want to see anything, any of my computer stuff as I go, whether it be more detailed or more in-depth pictures. I know my video camera is not the best. I do have a build. I just started it for this latest update on Linus Tech Tips forum under the build log section. Title is slightly smaller, just as baller. And again, my username, Taylor Pro. And basically the inspiration for this rebuild was after I took everything home for winter break, I just kind of realized how much of a pain in the ass it is to move around even a mid-tower sized case, considering I am going to be moving it a few times a year, and then once I'm home for the summers, I'll be moving it quite a bit back and forth between houses doing different gaming events and whatnot. So I went ahead and decided I was going to switch it up and just go with a micro ATX form factor. I went with this for a few reasons. I like the idea of mini ITX, but I didn't really like the idea of limiting myself to one PCI slot. Also, I just bought all of that G.Skill Sniper RAM that I got over break, that 16 gigabytes of G.Skill Sniper. This was the old specs. So I didn't want to have to chuck all that or limit myself to only half of what I had. So I decided to go micro ATX. The biggest discussion and the biggest challenge was probably the case choice. I'm real picky about features and layout and stuff, so it took a while. But if you look at the build log, I've got pictures of the old build before I took it apart. Interior shots of everything laid out. I moved a little bit around since my last video. Took the hard drive cage back out, as you can see, and moved the SSD to the floor. Put the hard drive back up in the optical bay. I got a 5 1/4 to 3.5 inch adapter and put it there. And this picture I had taken the Noctuas back out, put the fractal fans back in, because I do plan on selling the motherboard case and CPU to a local guy. So I do have those Noctua NF A14 FLXs, 2 of them that are only a couple weeks old now. I have those for sale, as well as my pretty much like new Creative Sound Blaster Audigy FX sound card. It's a PCIe 1X card. If anybody's interested, just message me. But show some more detailed pictures of the case and everything, how it was before I took it all out. And then it goes into a bit about why I picked some of the stuff I did and the new specs. So I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys those. I decided to go with the Asus Maximus 6 Gene motherboard. In my opinion, it's probably the most feature-filled mATX Z87 board. Also went with the I7-4770k. I figured if I'm going to rebuild, change chipsets, I might as well pop now and go ahead and get the extra 4 threads. Games like Battlefield 4 really seem to utilize those. For cooling, I went with 3 Scythe Gentle Typhoon 120mm fans. I got the GT15s, the 1850 RPM fans. And really my only gripe with those fans is just the fact that the cables don't come sleeved. Other than that, I mean, I love the fans. They have, I mean, really the first thing that struck me was the weight. They're very, very heavy, and you can tell the bearing is quality, and they're quite quiet even at full speed and move quite a bit of airflow. So I also added some Silverstone red and black sieve cable extensions. And for the case, I decided to go, you can see it at the bottom there, and a Silverstone PS07. Now, some of you guys may know this case, some of you guys may not. It's very similar to the Temgen TJ08E in terms of internal layout, but it's a bit different with the front. So I've got it all sprawled out right here. If you give me a second. I'll go ahead and show you guys. So there's the case. I'll turn the flash on so you get a better idea of it. It's got a nice clean front. Kind of reminds me of similar to the Fractal Define R4. You got 2 optical bays. You got your power reset, obviously power LED and hard drive LED, USB 3, headphone, and mic. On the left side, there's nothing much. You can kind of see the ventilation on the sides, again reminiscent of the Define mindset. It's got some, this whole piece here is aluminum, and they've brushed this piece, which some of you may or may not like. The brushed fins, I guess you'd call it, but I don't mind it. It's subtle. So again, we've got more of this ventilation on the side, and then the front is actually a door, and you open it up, you got a nice dust filter that just pops right out with a little handle here. You can see two of the Scythe Gentle Typhoons in the front. The thing I liked about this case the most was you've got a case that, I'll go ahead and show you a picture on the build log real fast with the two side by side. But like that right there. That's how much size difference is between the Fractal Arc MIDI R2, which isn't a very big mid tower. It's like 19 by 20 by 9 or so. It's so much smaller physically. I think this one is 14 and change inches tall, maybe 15 or so deep, and like 8 inches wide. And yet it still manages to keep a standard dual 120mm front layout. It can fit H100s, it can fit custom dual 120 radiators. You just lose this bottom optical drive, which I don't use anyway. But I just liked that layout. And as well, as I get to show you in a second here, carpet's holding it up. It doesn't want to move around. You see you got this filter on the top. This should start to show you the unconventional layout here. This is just a magnetic filter. So it just kind of slides off to the side, and you can kind of see in there, you got the power supply down in there. And that just sticks there. And the power supply, if you look at the back I/O, is actually on the top. The way this case works is the motherboard, similar to like the Bit Phoenix Micro ATX variant, the motherboard is upside down. However, the power supply is on the top in this case. You can see that last Scythe Gentle Typhoon 120 in the bottom. And as you could have assumed, that means that the motherboard comes in from the right side of the PC as you look at it from the front, unlike the left, like normal. Now if you look, I don't know how well this will zoom in, but these thumb screws actually have a little plastic washer on them so they don't scrape up your case when you tighten them in and out, which is pretty cool. Little detail, but pretty cool nonetheless. So I'll go ahead and pop this off. Now, don't hate me too much, I didn't spend a ton of time getting all this together, but if you look, this is the general layout of the case. Like I said earlier, the only thing I don't really like is those fan cables. Obviously they're not braided, which leaves some to be desired, but overall pretty nice. So I like the layout so far. I like the extensions down here. It turned out pretty good. Again, you can see the two fans. I got both hard drives are mounted up there. All the cables are managed nicely and everything. Power supply up there too. Here comes shortly, I'm going to be sleeving the fan cables, getting them prettied up, and getting the build looking pretty good. I'll also be getting a replacement cooler for that Intel cooler. That thing's horrible, but you see I got all the RAM in there. But overall, I'm really happy with it so far. Performance has been better than the old case, with only maybe a degree or two rise in temperatures on the GPU. With the cooler coming soon, probably a knock to a D14. I'll go ahead and make another video of that. It should help overall, but overall, I like the layout. I like how it's performing, and with the cooler and those sleeves braided up, or those fans sleeved up, I think she'll be quite nice. So, appreciate you guys for watching. Again, if you want to see more details, you can check out the build log for some more pictures and whatnot. And again, it's LinusTechTips.com and the forum and under build logs, and that's the title. So, appreciate you guys for watching. If you want to see more PC stuff, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. You guys have a good day.